The reason I joined was, but understood that if you have someone who can guide you, it'll just streamline the whole process. I joined the course, and then the third month, guess what I do? 10K profit a month. Listen to the people who actually know what they're doing. There's literal case studies of hours and hours on your channel. This is real stuff. Like, you're literally printing money. Here you go. Money.
So yeah, I mean, let's jump right into it. Tell me your story. How did
Right.
everything go?
It's been good. Started around, I think, almost a year now. I think it's been a year. The whole organic drop shipping, I think I started around last year, March, around there, somewhere around there. Yeah, other than that, it's been good. The program's been good. As you can see, I'm on the case study, finally, like I said I would be. And yeah, excited to talk to you and finally be on the YouTube channel. That's about it.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, I mean, let's jump into your screen. How did everything go in terms of numbers, etc.?
This is for one of the products. This
Mm-hmm.
is December. That's 12K right there. And then another one, which is six around 7K. And then the profit
Mm-hmm.
margin for this one is quite low, but then the other one covers it all. We come around to, I think, around 2.3, 2.4 profit margins. So around 50 to 55%, could be 60 as well. But I did the estimation. So yeah, I went in the chat. I said, okay, this was my goal. I hit it. USD terms, 10K USD profit last month.
That's the biggest milestone in my opinion. Like hitting the first 10K in pure profit is incredible. How did that feel?
It is. It was good. I think I've heard it before too. You feel good in the first day or when you see it, blah blah blah. But I don't think I'm ever gonna be satisfied. I think I've heard you say this before. It's not gonna satisfy me. I don't know
Yep.
at what level it will. Maybe I have to set a goal, but I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. I'll look at this number. Okay, boom. I need more. Where's the more? So it's always I'm kind of just thinking about tomorrow and not today, and then the past is kind of just the past, and yeah, just looking for more. Like I said, like I want to be more case study. I want to be more case studies. I see all these people doing all these big numbers. I want to do those numbers, right? But yeah, I can't always be comparing, but I'm always grateful. But I already know that there's much more to do. This is
Yep.
just the beginning. So yeah,
Mhm.
this is the beginning, and yeah, more to come.
Very first of all, like what did you expect coming into the program? How did things turn out? How was the time frames, etc.?
The reason I joined was time. Time was of the essence for me. Mine wasn't, I knew I could do it by myself. I know I joined the course with some sort of skill. I could do it. I had a previous winner before that. I knew I could do it on a long enough time period. Anyone can if you just keep on going at it at the rate I was going at it. But understood that if you have someone who can guide you through the calls, through the group calls, all that stuff. I understood that it'll just streamline the whole process. I'll get there quicker. I'll reach my
Mhm.
goals quicker. And yeah, that was the whole plan. The whole plan was to kind of just streamline everything, understand that I don't know everything. I had to really humble myself because I'm pretty sure anyone who can watching this, all this stuff, you can relate. You relate to the fact that you're doing, you kind of get into it like, oh my God, I'm doing it my own. I'm a boss, blah, blah, blah. You have to humble yourself for Jacob or anyone else to tell you you're doing this wrong, to shit on you, basically, right? But to shit on you, really have to humble yourself. So yeah, when I went in, I understood that I just had to humble myself, listen to the people who actually know what they're doing. And yeah, that was pretty much the goal, just to listen.
Mhm.
And I think I've developed that pretty well. So yeah, that was the plan.
100%. So, like coming into dropshipping overall, why did you specifically decide to do dropshipping, not another business model? Whatever were you doing before that, etc.?
My life, I think a year ago, took a 180. I was always in school thinking about, oh, I need to be doing something else, blah, blah, blah. I was always in school. I was like, okay, this is life. I enjoy it. You know, you have those friends, you have fun, you go out there, blah, blah, blah. It's all good. You know, life's good. But then it takes a 180. Your mindset switches out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. I think it was COVID, so I hadn't been in university in person. So finally, second year comes around, I go to university in person and something switches. I don't want to be there. I don't, what is this? You see all these things going on YouTube. You see all these people. What is this? What am I doing? So yeah, that was the whole plan. I just see this wasn't it. So I understood that it had to be something online. It had to be something I could actually just do it myself because I think that was what was lacking. I had to do it myself. So I first started with I think classic YouTube videos. You do all that. You've heard all about that. Classic YouTube videos. You start with the Mongazi. You start all that. So yeah, I looked into Mongazi. I looked into the whole service based niche. I was like, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can start a copywriting business or something. I can do it myself. Let me just
Mhm.
read this book. I think the first book I ever read about business was cash advertising. Some TikTok mentioned it. I'm like, oh my God, let me read this. I'm gonna be a billionaire, whatever. through marketing, everything. I'm on Gazi level. So yeah, I did that, made $20. So that was my
There we
first
go. Not bad.
but that was my first $20 off some experiment, but I understood that wasn't enough. I understood the time frame. Like I said, I joined the course for time frame. I wanted to streamline the whole process. I understood that in the next 2, 3 years, if I wanted to be where I wanted to be, copywriting was going to take a lot more time. It's a good opportunity, but not at the time I was in it, for me at least. So yeah, I started to do TikTok ads. Started with that first because a friend of mine mentioned it, and you start with the whole dropshipping's dead, all that stuff. I thought it was dead. You see all these things, I thought you was dead, blah blah blah. But then I was never interested in it in the beginning. I did 2 products, made a couple sales, somewhat profitable, whatever, but never interested in it. But then I think I was already making organic content with the ads itself. So I ran the ads as well as organic content on it because I was like, okay, I have time. Why not just
Mhm.
pop out some content as well? Shit content, by the way. It's not good content. But yeah, I started with that, and then organic kind of was already in my mind. It was kind of, you hear about it here and there. I knew it existed, just never went fully dived into it. But then like, these days, see this guy on YouTube, he's talking about organic TikTok, and it was you. And I watched your whole video, blah blah blah. It wasn't at the time. I wasn't like, okay, this is it. It was just kind of a random video that popped up on my YouTube suggestions, and then more of your videos started popping up. I kept watching them. I'm like, okay, organic maybe is the way. And then Mikey popped up. See Mikey pop up. I'm like, bro, this is it. I've always wanted to make videos and stuff. I've kind of always been doing TikTok or like this random videos or whatever, the creativity side of it all. Kind of, I thought I had it. So I'm like, okay, why not just divulge myself into it? That was when I decided I wanted to quit school, kind of just go full dive into it. And as better than anyone that this takes a lot of time. So yeah, I kind of just went full time on it. Summer hit, and yeah, that was the plan.
Since you started with the program with organic, how many videos have you actually started posting?
3 to 500 in between those, around there. But I think 400 would be a nice approximation. Yeah.
And did you ever feel like changing strategies or quitting, or did you have any doubts about keep doing this until it works, or?
Never, no doubts at all from the beginning. I joined the course. I remember the initiation call. I told them, I said 10K profit. That's the goal, 10K profit. And then the
Mhm.
third month, guess what I do? 10K profit a month. It was never any doubt. I knew it would happen, but at what time? I didn't know that. It was the uncertainty of when it will happen, not that it will happen. So yeah, I knew it was going to happen, no doubt at all there. You'd be blind to see people make all this money through organic. There's literal case studies of hours and hours on your channel. There's got to be some ignorance factor to it. If you look at that and you're just like, no, it doesn't exist, blah, blah. You can't be ignorant. You got to look at that stuff and realize, no, this is real stuff. Real stuff. Michael's
Yeah.
real. He might be a computer screen right now, but he's real. It's not a joke. So yeah, I understood that it was eventually going to get there, and I still understand that this year is going to be a big year. So that's what I see.
We're still getting the whole thing that these case studies are paid actors. It's all fake. It's not real. The thing people don't understand is this: when you're in the program, you see each other. You see the people from the past case studies, and you want like it's all connected. So you have asked a bunch of questions in other group calls, whatever. Other people saw you asking beginner questions, then intermediate questions, and now a little bit more advanced questions because you started to make money. It's all a process which takes time. It's impossible to fake that. You just imagine this: you go get into the program. No one from the case studies ever nowhere. The fuck? That doesn't like. Of course, you're gonna be like suspicious, but it doesn't happen, right? How does it feel now to be on the YouTube channel finally?
It's great. I see this as an opportunity. I feel like I don't know if many people in the like case studies realize this, but I feel like you're providing like a platform for people to actually catapult their social, like the realm of this whole entrepreneurship and all that stuff. Because that's what I'm assuming, you're getting into this whole program or this whole niche of drop shipping or organic drop shipping, which is revolutionary at that. Like I heard you say this printer money, like you're literally printing money, and it's revolutionary to a degree. You don't see these margins. I'll tell you a quick story if you
Impossible.
don't mind. I was talking to my uncle, and he's like a businessman. And typical business model, you will see 20 to 30% margins around there. Like something like that.
If things go good.
If things go good, you'll see less, and you're okay with that. Right? That's just what businesses do. There's costs, all that stuff. There's revenue, blah blah blah. I tell him, he's like, "So what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, this." Didn't tell him the whole strategy. Like I didn't know. I wasn't quite sure, but then I'm like, "Yeah, this is this." Like, what's the profit margins? 50 to 80. What? his whole face dropped. You can't fathom that. Like once you're doing 20, 30, or like whatever percentages you're doing, you can't fathom. I've
Yeah,
heard you say 99%. 99%. I believe it. I completely believe it. There's
yeah.
products out there that will do 99%.
It's not even a product, it's service. Like it's a digital. He was just selling like a thing for a game, which is literally no product cost at all, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. So the thing is about organic is this: 20% margins versus like 60% margins, let's say, is literally 3x, and it's insane to understand that. So like on paper, what does that mean? You make 10k, you make 2k. Like from 10k, you make 2k on Facebook, and this is 20%. Everybody on Facebook who makes 20% is pretty happy about making 20%. I can tell you tons of stories making 5 to 15%. Okay. But let's say 20. The same exact scenario where you made 10K, you all of a sudden made 6K in profit from organic. And this is assuming 60% margins. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 8K on 10K. But basically, you don't have to sell even close to the amount of people you do have to sell on other platforms. So
Absolutely.
what you need to actually do to get to like 50K in pure profit a month through Facebook is a lot of fucking money. Like
Yeah.
you need to like make 2 to 400, the 2 to 300K definitely
Yeah.
to get to those numbers. And with organic, it's basically like with 100K a month, which still is crazy, but like it's doable. It's so much
Yeah.
more doable than doing like hundreds of thousands on Facebook.
Yeah.
And the craziest part about it is there's virtually no blocks. And if you do get blocked, it doesn't really matter because the whole
Yeah.
Facebook, like if you compare this to Facebook, the real problem is you test something, everything works, you start making a shit ton of money, and then you get one block and that's it. You're down. Like you test the same exact thing on another Facebook account, every same store, same creative, same product. It doesn't work from another Facebook account. Why?
Yeah.
Just because. Like just because Facebook has its own algorithm, its own head, where either you get lucky with the account or you get not lucky. Now, you can force luck by testing a shit ton of things, which shouldn't like a bunch of products, like a bunch of accounts, especially. But you can never be 100% sure why things are not working. It's a fact that if you test the same product from two different accounts, one sometimes works and one sometimes doesn't. This means that you cannot be sure if you're even fault on failing. Like maybe you're doing everything perfectly right. It still just doesn't work because you have a shitty account, which sucks. It makes it so much harder. With organic, it's so much more skill based. And I'm seeing this huge shift where the skill itself, you make good content, you make money. You make good content, you make money. That's it. Like it's literally that direct. You make good content. Of course, you have a good product. You spend more than enough time. Like you spend a lot of time on doing those things. But if you have these three things, that's it. You're done. You start making money. And with Facebook, you can be a really good Facebook guy. Something can go to shit, and you're at zero again. And it's so annoying. If I'm being honest, organic is superior. Organic is the best business model I've ever seen so far. Margins, blocks. When I saw that you can literally sell things like wheat products, I was like, what the wait? There's millions and millions of people who want to buy wheat stuff. It's impossible to sell that on Facebook. You just sell that on TikTok. Sure, you get blocked, but you create like 15 accounts and nobody cares. So organic is wild. It's insane.
It's nuts. The weed products you mentioned, that weed products are nuts. I'm specifically not running weed products because I don't want to tap into that niche, but like you can just tell. Just read the comments. You're making money. You run one of those products, you're making money. It's as
Yeah.
simple as that. You mentioned that it's crazy because all my burner page, whatever, it's weed
Mhm.
products, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody wants weed.
Because there's such a huge demand and nobody who's selling it. Like
Absolutely.
it's the same exact demand on wheat product as for cat products, but nobody is selling it online. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Fill
So
that
yeah,
gap, right? You gotta fill that gap. And a lot of people are
100%.
doing that very well.
For you, like, did you start telling like your close friends or family members about all of this?
I think I prepared for this question. I knew it was coming, but I was watching a case study just to get something. By the way, let me mention this one thing. When I joined the course, I made a promise. I said I'm not going to watch any case studies till I get on here. So I watched it yesterday because I knew it was confirmed. Like I said, I watched this case study and just to get prepared for what some of the questions. You said this one thing. You said telling people perhaps is just one of the best things you can do for yourself. The right people. I've been doing that very consciously for the last year, telling the right people the right times. Give an example. If I've told someone I'm doing this at this time, at X time, if I'm not up, the guilt kills me. Like my entire day will be
Yeah.
ruined. Like I'm guilty. I'm guilty I didn't wake up at that time. I'm guilty I
Yeah.
didn't do this at this time, right? That guilt truly drives you. I think it was the whole motivation you were saying, the whole motivation type of the realm of this whole business model. Yeah, I didn't need motivation. I didn't need inner motivation. I think guilt ran me most of this time. I just knew I had to do it. It was
Yeah.
the guilt. I can't tell my parents, I'm gonna be a billionaire, blah blah blah. Like can't tell them that and then wake up 15 minutes late than I'm supposed to. It just can't happen. You can call that externalizing, but I feel like externalizing would be the best option for you in these type of circumstances. It's an easier way to
Yeah.
stay disciplined. And that's what I did. I think telling people, I think I told my parents, obviously, there's resistance at first. Fortunately, what it was I knew what was going to convince them. I knew what it was going to be, and what it was that when I first asked, I had no results. I had no results. I was just let me drop out of school, blah blah blah, summer, blah blah. I'm gonna go all summer, and then I'm dropping out. They're like, no, what? But you can't blame them because you have nothing to prove. You're not proving yourself, right? You haven't proved yourself. So I always understood that as soon as there's results, they're letting me drop out,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened. Before I joined the course, another funny story. The reason I joined the course, the first product that I ran was that did good was the bat hook. I was the second biggest account at the time you made this video. You made this video, you said, this product's good, but you can do much better because it's time consuming. And at the time I was like, it was very time consuming. And I understood that one product was taking up my entire day. And I was like, that's not good. And then that kind of switched my mindset. I'm like, you're not picking the right products. That is why I joined the course itself. That was the reason. I'm like, bro, here you go, money. That's what Jacob does. Money. That's what
Just
it is.
take it.
Like,
Yeah,
just take
yeah.
it.
I think the biggest thing in the beginning is not testing any of these time-consuming products because, okay, so the skill you need to learn is filming content, not putting a fucking bat on the tree and doing all this. This is not the skill you want to learn, right? And the same, like, there's so many products where you have to spend an hour in preparation and then you can film. You have to cook a meal just to be able to film the product with that meal. It's a mess. And all of a sudden, you start doing things which again seem super productive because to film the video you have to cook the meal, but you're just cooking a meal. You're not getting better at like organic. You're just cooking meals right now. You literally cut all your time in half, and half your time you learn, and the other half you just prepare, which is useless. Like what we always recommend is step one is only test products which are super easy to film, where it's much faster. Later on, go ahead, cook your meals because everybody has to cook the meals, right? Like you're not the only one. Later on, when you're really good at organic, the point of you filming videos is not volume anymore. Point is making extremely good videos and like quality only. And on top of that, less competition. So a product where you have to prepare a shit ton of things before you can even like film it is amazing if you're advanced. It's terrible if you're a beginner. And this is also something we do in the program where we have different types of products for different types of people. If you're starting out as a complete beginner, would never let you test a product which is advanced, but the exact opposite is also the case. The beginner products are shit. They're terrible for advanced people. Yeah, people in the beginning just doing it by themselves, they just don't know. They don't know. They
Yeah.
see, and this is the problem I see with all these YouTube videos like top 10 products of the month, whatever. For who? Like who is this product good for? For who? On YouTube, you're never ever going to be able to bring across the point what's best for you, not for everybody. There's nothing which is
Yeah.
best for everybody.
Yeah, that this course is definitely personalized to you. That,
Yeah.
like you say, it's personalized to each person. You're at different levels and you have to accept that. You're a beginner, you have to accept that. You're a beginner, you have to get shit on, you have to accept that. But if you enter with a different level, then you're going to get treated as such, right? There's no biases, there's nothing like that in the course. It's all that it depends on you. How much skill do you have? Can you do this product? No. Well, then stick to these beginner products. That's pretty much all it is. It's accountability. I love that about the course itself. There's no, I mentioned this that you guys just hand the products. No, you're not handing the products. You're helping, yes. But that is why I joined the course. I didn't want just someone to just give it to me. Then I didn't learn anything. But the whole point of the course is what it does, the mentorship. I'll call it not a course, the mentorship. What it does is it guides you, it molds you. It makes you that's what you want to learn. The main thing is the skill. It's not the money, it's
Mhm.
not nothing, it's the main skill. So it molds you. Jacob molds you. He shits on you, but he molds you. You become that person. You want to be if you want to be on that level, you have to get molded. So yeah, mentor is very important in any field. It's not just drop shipping, any field is very important. I realized that after I joined the course. or the mentors. Yeah, it's very important. You have to get molded, and that's what I did.
What are your goals for this year?
6 figures monthly. 6 figures monthly, three case studies, somewhere around there. No, but definitely another one. This is I wanted to enter them out. You always expect, okay, the next one's gonna be like 50 grand a month, blah blah blah. But I think I've accepted at this point. Like the path that is laid out for me, it's gradual. I think the best way for anyone to learn would be the gradual way. I know I feel it. I know everyone feels it. Why am I not just getting all this 100K a month? Why am I not just blowing up the first video? Blah, blah, blah. But I think the best way to learn and pick up this skill, and I'm going through this route, it's gradual.
It's gradual until it's not. This is the thing. This is exactly the thing. It feels like either no progress or some little progress until it blows up. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you have this jump and it actually stays at that level. And then it again seems like you're plateauing at that level. And then you have another jump. And this is exactly what you're going to constantly go through in entrepreneurship. However, on the jump, the easiest thing in the world is start to chill and have a drop. It's so easy to make your first like 20, 30K profit month. And then all of a sudden think, all right, I basically made enough money. This is going to keep going like it is. Let's just like work for an hour a day. And that's it. I have passive income. It's not how it works. Not how it works. So
Not at all.
it's also very important to emphasize that. Like how many hours per day are you putting in?
I'm a full-time dropshipper, man. I have no distractions. I've cut out everything. Yeah, I make this joke before. It's I live, breathe, eat dropshipping. I really do. And yeah, everything's molded around it. Everything's molded around that calendar.
Yeah.
That calendar that you guys put us on. Yeah, everything's molded around that. It's one of the best things I've probably picked up. The time management. I never had an issue with getting the things done that I need to get done. It would always get done. But there's always that ringing in the head. Could I have done more? Could there have been 10 more videos instead of the three I've said I would do? Could I have put a bigger goal for myself? Yes.
Mhm.
I realize now you put those little blocks and you get them done. There's more time. There's always more time to do what you need to do. And then the biggest thing for just my day to day, everything is molded around product research. My content isn't important for me in terms of what do I prioritize more. I always prioritize product research more. I cannot miss the 4 to 5 hours a day that I have to do product research. I will never miss that. Every single day, 4 hours to 4 or 5 hours of product research every single day. Sure, you might miss a video here and there, blah, blah, blah. I get that. It's video ideas. You miss them. Sure, it makes sense. But product research, you cannot miss. It's easy. You could be eating with product research. That's what I do. Anything.
Yeah, there are different types of tasks, and I like to compare this like with sports, for example. If you do pull-ups, it becomes impossible to do another pull-up after you cannot do any pull-ups anymore, right? Like you do your 10, and after that, you physically can't. It's very different when you're jogging. If you do like one lap and you can do another one a little bit slower and a little bit slower, technically you could walk the next one and walk the next one and walk the next. There's no real stop with jogging, for example. Of course, there's some limits, but it's very, 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 very light. And there are some tasks which are just limited and capped where you have to be super creative, but some tasks are endless. Exactly what you said here with like product research. There's no end to that. There's zero. And it's just important to understand what you're doing and where to stop, because it's also not good to overwork yourself in creative tasks. Like if you have to just actively think, you're not going to be able to do that for 12 hours straight. If you just have to do a repetitive thing, which is super simple, it's very easy. Like you can, right? And it's just about the standards you set for yourself and making sure that you're doing the right things. Because sometimes you do things which feel super productive, but they're useless. And sometimes you're doing, like for me at this point, because I have so many employees and so many things get done at the same time for me while I'm chilling, I have days where I genuinely feel very unproductive. I don't get shit done for 9 hours straight, but these 9 hours I was doing something, and then I have one idea, one thing which I changed, and it makes me like an extra 500K or whatever. Like it makes me an extra shit ton of money from that day. And I see that as a productive day. I feel unproductive. But me just talking to my brother for 5 hours straight about bullshit, you can count that as productive time if you twist it in the right way. Like if you understand, all right, out of this conversation, we have this thought and we're going to do this. On like if we consistently have these conversations every 50 hours, we're going to find something which we would never find without them, right? So productivity is defined in my eyes on the outcome, not on how productive you feel. I can do 10 hours of specific, like very boring work, but also I could just say one sentence to one employee and they do it for me. I'm going to feel unproductive because I don't have shit to do all day, but who cares? It's still getting done. And then I can do something else. I think that's like a mindset, which is very important to adapt. Feeling productive is not productivity. Productivity is productivity.
I've come to realize that recently. You have that boss mindset. You have that mindset where you can now focus on the big things. Like you say, like that
Yeah.
one idea in the 5 hours, you feel unproductive, but that's just you. That's just the hustler in you. That's why you're at this level, because you hustled that long that if you're not hustling every hour, every minute, every second, you feel unproductive. But that's
Yeah.
that boss in you, right? That the boss in you will figure out the big picture. What's the big picture? Where's my company go here? How's my students doing in the long term? I was doing all that stuff. So yeah, one thing I realized about productivity recently is that fact that I was like, okay, the more time I put, the more productive I am. No, what did you do in that time? Like I said, I was doing these 3 videos. You do 3-4 videos a day. Sure, you try to make them as perfect as possible. Blah blah blah. Every clip needs to be perfect. Every sound needs to match. Every this. But I realized productivity is being as efficient as possible whilst getting the best quality.
What would be the main advice to a complete beginner just starting out?
If you're a beginner, you can do it. You can do anything. There's only 2 factors involved in it. I've said this before to someone else. It's only 2 factors, and I've come to realize it. Only one factor, actually. I'm gonna switch down to one factor. Don't quit. Don't. There's nothing else to it. Don't quit. I never had this thought of, okay, let me quit. What the fuck does quitting do? What does it do? Then I'm definitely losing. Then it's done. It's game. Then I'm going back to school doing some dumb shit. That's what I'm doing. Then that's what you want to do. Then go ahead. But don't quit. That's the only advice I would give anyone. I'm not even in the position to give any advice. I don't see myself to be a teacher right now. I'm a student. That's why I'm in this mentorship. I'm a student. I'm here to learn. I'm here to listen. But if I had to give the advice, don't quit. That's the most general advice. You don't quit. And join the mentorship. Click the link below. Join the mentorship. But yeah, that's my advice. Don't quit. There's nothing to do. There's no point. You're wasting time if you just quit. That's it.
The don't quit part is tied to make sure the thing you're starting is good. Because don't quit means if you start something, you do it until it works. You better be in the right boat. Because if you're not, you're fucked. You're going to be doing bullshit till the end of your life because it's not going to work. This is very important. I want you guys, like all at home, if you didn't start organic yet, don't start it yet. Think what else is out there. Like make a list of all the business models which are out there. Understand what's good about them, what's bad about them, which problems are there. And also, by the way, I personally think organic is the best, but maybe it's not the right thing for you, because if you're starting out and you have like half an hour a day, 1 hour a day, you don't have enough time, some outside of thing which I don't know about you and maybe it's not a good fit, don't do it. This is not a passive income. First of all, it's a shit ton of work. It's worth it, but it's a shit ton of work. And I want you to make a list with all the businesses which you could start, pick one and do it until it works. It's a very important thing to start out with that. And I got lucky that I started with dropshipping versus some other bullshit in the very beginning. Like I'm genuinely grateful that I didn't do this list. I got lucky. Not everybody's going to get that lucky. And a lot of people are just going to pick something which is bad. So make sure like this don't quit thought is tied to the right business model, to the right strategy, and the right everything. Keep in mind that what don't quit means in different business models. Because let's compare this to Facebook. On Facebook, you test a product that doesn't work. You lost, let's say, $200. Cool. All good. Test another product, doesn't work. Lost another $200. Test another product, it worked kind of, but then you lost a bunch of money, lost another 1,000. You can go minus 20K if you don't do it right. And then there's this fucking guy and he's telling me don't quit. Like, wait, I lost 20K. What does that mean now? I should keep spending my money? Maybe not. Maybe you have a shitty strategy, right? This don't quit thing is only tied to you have enough resources and you pick the right thing, because resources in Facebook means you have enough money. Resources in TikTok means you have enough time. That's it. It's very important to have this premise, because I know people like that who just aren't quitters, but they lost 150K on bullshit. You know, so that can be painful as well.
My bad. I was speaking from my perspective. I didn't,
Yeah.
but I'm glad you explained. That's why you need a mentor.
From your perspective, to someone who isn't in the program, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as simple yet not easy. It's not easy to listen to someone when you're in this realm of stay at home, wake up. We can wake up any time you want. You can go to Bali. You can live the cheap life. You can be on your laptop. You can do the dumb shit. You can do whatever. It's hard to listen. The hardest part is to listen. But if you go into this program with that humble mindset, understand that there's levels to the levels, you will become or you will reach the goals that you want to reach. It's as simple as that. I would say simple, effective, but not easy. I'll say this here, the course itself, the basic course you guys have in there, the technicality side of it all, very helpful. It clears so many things because that
Mhm.
technicality is also important to a degree. You're not going to have everyone to just call right away. You need to figure stuff out on your own. And that is kind of a good layout to kind of just look back at. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And I need to do this many CTAs for this X amount, this many, this blah, blah, blah. This offers the best for this. This offers blah. So yeah, you kind of just need to do your part. It's not just giving it all to you. You have to do your part, understand that they're people, but you have to listen to them. That's just all it is. Just listen. It's the only part to it. Is just listen. There's nothing to it. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it.
So yeah, you heard it here. If you think you have enough time and you have enough energy to do this until it works, you can click the link below and sign up for a call, and we see if it's a good fit.